What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into my Week 20 NBA Power Rankings. It's been a couple of weeks because of the All-Star break. Didn't make one last week, obviously, because there was no games on during the All-Star break. But we are back. We're almost there. Only one more month away in like a week until the regular season is over. So it's coming up fast, guys. The standing chase is on for a lot of these teams. But anyway, let's get into these rankings here. Starting out with number 30, we have the Houston Rockets at the bottom here. They are in the midst of a 11 game losing streak right now. They're just not playing good. 0-4 this week. Obviously, just too young. Not enough veterans on this roster, I think. They're just not playing good. Just straight up, they're not a very good team, and it's been proven right now through this. And then number 29, we have the Detroit Pistons. Also going to be staying here at the same spot. The Pistons this week are going to be going 0-4, so another bad week for Detroit. Obviously, Bojan Bogdanovic is the soul of this team, and that's just not enough for this team. You saw the Ivy turnover in that previous game where he tried to call a timeout, but they were out. That was definitely the definition of a rookie mistake there. So the Pistons have a long ways to go in this rebuild. And then number 28, we have the Charlotte Hornets. Right there. And honestly, they might even be below the Pistons because LaMelo Ball is out for the season. So they're going to be dropping down a spot here. Yeah, I mean, without LaMelo Ball, this roster just straight up sucks. I mean, they did go 3-1 this week, so impressive there. But like I said, without LaMelo Ball, I think they might have just said, you know what, LaMelo Ball, just hang up your shoes for the rest of the year, rest up for next season because this season's over. We need to tank to get a better draft pick, and that's basically what I think what the Hornets are trying to do here. Yeah, just not a good Hornets team one bit. And then moving on to number 26 or 27, sorry, we have the San Antonio Spurs. This week the Spurs go. I believe the Spurs went 1-2. So yeah, 1-2 for the San Antonio Spurs. Decent enough week. Obviously, these four teams are all basically on the same par, I would say, at just bad skill level on the same tier. The next team might honestly be on a tier of their own, but we just have been putting them in the bad tier because I just don't think that they're quality in the hunt tier. But anyway, yeah, I mean the Spurs, Greg Povich is the only thing that's keeping them above these three other teams here. I think it's not a good roster at all either. All right, so then number 26, as I mentioned, you can call this team like in the middle of the bad and the hunt tier, like a decent tier or something, just a mid tier, and that's going to be the Orlando Magic here. The Magic this week go 2-2. They've just been doing this for the past I don't even know how long weeks, just going average, middle of the pack records. And that's just not going to be enough to dig yourself out of a hole that they dug themselves earlier on into the year. But I like the pieces that they have. The future's bright for Orlando with Polyobin, Chekrio, probably going to be the rookie of the year this season. They got a future. They do have a future here, and you got to be excited if you're a Magic fan. All right, but then let's move on here to the in the hunt tier. And then we're going to be dropping down 4 spots. We're going to have the Oklahoma City Thunder right now have lost 5 straight. And with that, they have lost, this week they lost 5 straight games. Went 0-5. So, yeah, I mean, the Thunder, not a good week for Shea getting back in the All-Star game for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in this Thunder roster here. Still a very young team, still a fun team to watch, but yeah, I mean, this year's obviously, it's still just kind of a bridge year, I think, for the Thunder before they can really start to pop off. I think if they could get to the plan, that would be excellent for this program. But they don't have to right now. They can get another good draft picks, and then build into next year. So I think that the Thunder are a fun team, a good team to watch. But losing 5 straight is not going to help with their play-in tournament chances this season. All right, and then number 24, jumping up a spot here, we have the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are this week are going to be going 2-1. So not playing much, but a good week for Indiana. They were kind of struggling before the All-Star. Before the All-Star break, but coming back, resting up, playing better. Halberton and Buddy Hield. This Pacers roster with obviously Miles Turner as well. It's a good roster. They got some playmakers on this team. Watch out, Indiana could be a good team. They could be a scary team too. I mean, when this team's on, they can be hard to beat. But yeah, I mean, the Pacers right now are going to be jumping up mainly due to the Thunder collapsing here, and then dropping down 5 spots here at number 23, we have the LA Lakers. This is just because of LeBron James getting injured. The Lakers had a good week, actually. They went 3-1, so that's good for LA. But yeah, I mean, because LeBron James is out, I don't expect this team to be as good. I mean, I think that they're worse than 5 other teams here that they were above earlier, and that's why I think that they deserve to be dropping down here. I think that the Lakers, the Lakers, I think that they're kind of a weird team here. With LeBron James, they're really freaking good. Anthony Davis, I'm not so sure about him. He's obviously good when he's playing, but can he stay healthy? That's a big question mark for this team. They're just gonna have to survive with the roster that they have right now. I mean, they got a decent enough roster, I think, to win some games with the addition of D'Angelo Russell. Malik Beasley's also playing really good for this team. LA got to keep fighting here until LeBron James comes back. It's going to be in like 3 weeks, I believe. All right, but then number 22, jumping up 2 spots, we have the Chicago Bulls here. Sorry, the Bulls this week are going to be going. Let's see, they go 3-1 or 3-2. So yeah, good week for Chicago. Trying to get back on track. The play-in tournament for the Eastern Conference is wide open right now. They can get back into that tier. Right now I do think that the Bulls are out of it. We obviously know that this team is very inconsistent. They got to find that consistency. Their consistency is being inconsistent, if you want to say. The Bulls, we know that they can be very explosive. We know that this team could be a scary team. You probably don't want to play the Bulls in the first round. You never know what can happen if they get hot. But yeah, the Bulls jumping up 2 spots, going to be 22. And then dropping down 4 spots here, we have the Portland Trail Blazers. Yeah, I mean, the congratulations to Damian Lillard getting 71 points, tying for the season high with Donovan Mitchell. Probably that goes to Damian Lillard, though, because he did it in regulation, but just huge performance by him. Dominant, man. Lillard gonna be he's just so freaking good for the Blazers. Damian Lillard. It's hard not to like Dame. He's a really good player. I've been saying this for a while though. They don't have a lot behind Lillard there. It's just not a very good roster. It's been proven here. I mean, this team goes 1-3 this week, even with that dominant performance. Lillard basically has to put this team on his back every night, and it just sometimes that doesn't work. So the Blazers going to be dropping down 4 spots, and then number 20 into the play-in tier, we have the Brooklyn Nets dropping down 4 spots as well here. The Nets this week going 0-4. Obviously, without KD and Kyrie, we know what this team is. I do think that they still have some good pieces on this roster to be a decent enough team, be a play-in team, maybe make it out of the play-in tournament. Obviously they have that record going for them. As long as they could just not lose a ton of games, they'll probably make at least the play-in tournament. I think that Brooklyn still has that going for them. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's a disappointment in Brooklyn right now. And we'll see what happens with them. But then jumping up a spot here at 19, we have the Washington Wizards. The Wizards this week go 2-2. Yeah, so decent enough week for Washington. Just trying to stay afloat and make the play-in tournament because they got Bradley Beal, they got Porzingis. I mean, it's a good team here in Washington. They're also another inconsistent team like Chicago, though, as I've evaluated them over the year. But still, I think that the Wizards, I think that they could be a team that you could look into the first round and say, I don't want to play Bradley Beal if he's playing really good. I don't want to play that. And yeah, I think that's what some teams are looking at right now. But yeah, Washington are going to be coming in at 19, and then number 18, jumping up 5 spots, playing really good basketball right now. We have the Toronto Raptors. They start out the year really bad, but they've came back this week. The Raptors go 3-1 and are now at like the 8th seed in the East now. According to the standings, they would be the 8th team. So yeah, that's big time for Toronto. Obviously, we know that this team is very well coached. They got some good players. Pascal Siakam, really good player. Yeah, I mean the Raptors, scary freaking good team. Yeah, I like Toronto a lot here. And we'll see if they can keep it rolling here. As long as they can be a 500 team, they're well coached. They could give some. They could make some noise in the playoffs. Maybe send a 1 seed to Game 6 or something. Or something. It's very tough for this Raptors team, though. They're not that good, but they are going to come into 18. And then jumping up 4 spots here, we have the Utah Jazz. Lauri Markkanen is just dominant right now for Utah. He is playing great. I mean, he deserved to be that all-star starter because my oh my, he's really playing well for the Jazz. The Jazz this week are going to be going 2-1. So yeah, they're going to be 31-32. The Western Conference playoff race, play-in race, I should say, is very tight right now. Utah is in above the 10 mark, so in it right now. But yeah, Utah. Obviously, this team fights hard every freaking fracking game. It's a good Utah Jazz team. And they're going to fight till the very end in every game. So, Lauri Markkanen, as I mentioned, he deserves his flowers right now. He is playing excellent. The Utah Jazz find themselves at number 17. All right, and then going to number 16, dropping down 2 spots, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans this week, right when you thought that they were kind of figuring themselves out a bit, they go 1-3, so not a good week for Zion Williamson and New Orleans. But obviously, Pelicans still a good team here. They got CJ McCollum, they got Brandon Ingram. It's still a good team. I'm not sure if Zion is back though. Let me actually check that real quick, guys. Yeah, Williamson is not back. So, yeah, it is just Brandon Ingram. And Brandon Ingram is a really good player. Yeah, I still like him a lot. So, yeah, I think that the Pelicans are just fine. And then moving on to number 13 here. Number 15, sorry. We have the Golden State Warriors who are going to be, let's see, where are sorry guys. Warriors went 5-0. So a 5-game winning streak this week for Golden State. Huge week. And Steph Curry trying to come back here. He's not back, but the Golden State Warriors with him back. I mean, they can make the playoffs. You do not want to play Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors in the first round. Obviously, the defending champs for a reason. But yeah, Golden State, obviously a huge week for them. They're just trying to get back Curry. Like I said, it's not the best team without him, but with him, it could be a top contender. All right, and then going to number 14 here, we're going to have the Minnesota Timberwolves dropping down a spot. The Timberwolves this week are going to be going 1-3, so not a good week for Minnesota, but yeah, I still like this Timberwolves team. Um, still trying to get back Karl Anthony Towns. It's going to be like somewhere in this month, but I'm not sure. Rudy Gobert, I think that Mike Conley's making an impact though for the Timberwolves. Obviously, the T Wolves are a playing team. I think they got some upside there. They're a good team. But yeah, without Karl Anthony Towns, I think it's going to have some tough time for them in the playoffs. We'll see though if Rudy and Towns can mesh though. All right, and then going to number 13, jumping up 2 spots here, we have the Atlanta Hawks. Finally, a Eastern Conference team here. The Hawks this week go, 2-1. So not a lot of games for Atlanta, but a good hiring for Coach Quinn Snyder. I'm a Jazz fan. I know that Coach Quinn is a really good coach for them. I think that the Hawks are going to be a just fine here with him. I think that Trae Young can live up to his potential. He needs to be better though. But yeah, I think that that hiring was really good with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. Hopefully, this team could get back on track. It could be an explosive team at times. We all know that, but we'll see if the Hawks can find themselves back into the playoffs tier. All right, so that is the play-in tier. Let's go to the playoffs tier here. Starting out with number 12, dropping down 4 spots, we have the Dallas Mavericks. It's just not meshing right now with Kyrie Irving. The Dallas Mavericks this week go 2-3. So not a bad week, I suppose, for them, but not a good one either. I mean, the Dallas Mavericks just not playing good. I don't know about this fit with Kyrie. I mean, I think that Kyrie and Luka Doncic just are. I think that they both want to run the show here, and guess what? Luka Doncic is the guy. I think, as much as Kyrie wants to admit that, he's got to admit that he's got to be more of a secondary man. It worked for with KD for the first year. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why you can't make it work with the Mavs. Obviously, it's early. Obviously, things can change, but it's not been a good start for that lineup. Obviously, they blew a 27-point lead, just embarrassing for the Mavericks against the Lakers. All right, and then number 11, dropping down 2 spots here, we have the LA Clippers. I've given up on making the Clippers here a contender here. I mean, I'm basically figuring treating them as what they are at this point. I mean, they're just a very inconsistent team with high upside, and yeah, I just don't think at that point you're going to be a contender with that. They go 1-3 this week. I mean, it's just another midweek for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. He's just load management playing sometimes. It's just a very tough team to rank all this season. But yeah, I think that number 11 is a good spot for them, and we'll see if they can continue moving here. And then number 10 here, dropping down 3 spots, we have the Miami Heat. The Heat this week go 1-3, so 1-2. So yeah, I mean the Heat also kind of like the Clippers, just been an inconsistent team this year with high upside. That's basically these 3 teams I would say are very similar here. 3 teams that I think could be contenders, but 3 teams that have not been able to get over the top. Also 3 teams that you do not want to play in the first round. That's how I describe the Heat, Clippers, and Dallas Mavericks. So yeah, I mean Miami Heat obviously got Jimmy Butler. Obviously, Tyler Hero. I think that Russell Westbrook would have been a good fit for the Heat, but obviously he goes there. And I had to mention Westbrook going to the Clippers. That was an interesting signing. We'll see if it pans out. I think he's doing decent there. I'm not entirely sure about that, though. So Miami, though, we'll see if they can, just be more consistent at this point. They got to do that. I'm going to be dropping them out of the contenders tier here, so we'll see what happens. All right, and the number 9 here, jumping up 3 spots, the New York Knicks. It's time for me to stop sleeping on this New York team. They just won 5 straight games this week, a huge week for Julius Randle and this New York roster. Jalen Brunson obviously playing really good as well. New York deserves their yeah, New York deserves their flowers here. They're playing good. Obviously, well coached team, I think, with Tibbs. Um, yeah, I think that the New York Knicks can be a good team in the playoffs, can be definitely even make an upset pick or make an upset and go to the maybe the even the semis of the Eastern Conference Finals. So we'll see what happens with New York. They're playing really good right now, and they're going to be coming in at number 9. And then jumping up 3 spots, a very similar team here. We got the Sacramento Kings with Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. 2 All-Stars this year as well. The Kings this week go 4-0. So 2 teams really going well. I mean, with the Heat and the Clippers and the Mavericks just kind of being mid, I couldn't keep the Kings and the Knicks below them. I mean, these 2 teams deserve their flowers here. You know, they've played consistent for a long time. They're playing really good. And that's really what you're looking for, a good playoff team. And I don't think that these teams are quite contenders. I don't think that the Kings are, but we'll see. Maybe if they keep winning a lot of games in a row, maybe impress me, I could see them into that contender tier. All right, but that is the playoffs tier. Let's go to the contender tier. Starting out at number 7, dropping down a spot, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Ja Morant situation is really big here. You know, if you did not know, he is being accused of like punching a teenager, I think, and something else that I can't remember. So that's not good for the Memphis Grizzlies one bit. They cannot afford to lose Ja Morant. Obviously, that's a serious situation. You cannot do that if you're Morant. But if Morant's in, I do think this team deserves to be number 7 here. The Grizzlies this week go 3-1 this week. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting situation with the Ja Morant situation, but the Grizzlies, I do think, are still a very good team. If Ja Morant's in, and obviously a team that can win the championship if he's playing at his highest ability. But then number 6, dropping down a spot, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs this week are going to go 1-3. So not a good week for Donovan Mitchell in his return back from the All-Star break. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell played excellent in that All-Star game. But anyway, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Cleveland Cavs are a very good team. Very explosive offense, very hard to stop when Mitchell's on. We obviously had that Celtics versus Cavaliers game where Donovan scored like 40 plus and still lost because Tatum scored 40 plus as well. And it just was not enough for Cleveland. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, when they're on, it is very hard to stop this offense. And that's why they are a contender in my eyes. And then number 5, jumping up 5 spot. This is solely due to KD here, the Phoenix Suns. The Suns this week are going to be going 2-2. So not a good week in that terms, but Kevin Durant is back. He played on, I believe it was yesterday or a couple days ago, not sure, but he played good. And with KD, Devin Booker, I mean, this roster, it's going to be hard to stop when they're on. I mean, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, my oh my, the Suns, man, they are going to be a tough team to beat. With all those superstars. Wow, I mean, that is just insane to think about. But yeah, I think that the Suns are. I'm not going to put them above some of these other teams yet, though. We need to see a little bit more of Kevin Durant. But as of right now, I think it's safe to say that they are a better team than the Cavs and the Grizzlies and everyone below them. And that's why they're going to come into the top 5 at number 5. All right, and then number 4 here, we have the Philadelphia 76ers with Joel Embiid. The 76ers this week go 2-2. So decent enough week for Philly. It's kind of falling behind, though, of the top 2 teams, obviously, that are just dominating the Eastern Conference. But, yeah, I still like I still think that the 76ers are a good team here. And I think that they're a force to be reckoned with. Joel Embiid, James Harden is a good team. Watch out for Philly. And then number 3 here, staying at the same spot, we have the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets this week are going to go 3-1, just continuing for Nikola Jokic to dominate. Could he be the 3-time in a row MVP We will see. But Denver, I mean, they're taking the West by storm. No one can stop them in the West right now, besides maybe the Suns with Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. The Grizzlies, obviously, with Ja, could be a really good team as well. But yeah, I mean, obviously the Nuggets just dominating right now. They are playing too good for anyone to stop them. All right, and then we got the top two teams. Number 2, the Boston Celtics. Staying here at the same spot. The Celtics this week go 3-1. So not a bad week for Boston. But yeah, I mean, now the number in the standings, the number 1 team is the Bucks, and we'll get to them in a minute. But obviously, Jason Tatum's still a really good team, team, and Jaylen Brown. That was obviously fun to see Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown go at it in the All-Star game as well. But yeah, I mean, the Boston Celtics, obviously a force to be reckoned with. Their defense and their offense, very two-way team, very good team. And they've just been really dominant all season long. But then number 1, the Milwaukee Bucks, who have a 16-game winning streak. They are the king right now for me. Giannis Antetokounmpo is clearly the best player in the NBA, in my opinion. I mean, obviously Nikola Jokic is really freaking fracking good as well, but I'm gonna go with Giannis there. I mean, just the Bucks are just dominant right now. It's very hard to stop them. 16-game winning streak. Really crazy. I mean, could they get up to 20? We will see. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video today. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your power rankings. And anyway,